Sairam. Having seen the named reactions of aldehydes and ketones, and then having studied the acidity of carboxylic acids, where we determined why are carboxylic acids acidic in nature, what is the factor that determines which is acidic and which is more acidic, which is less acidic. So, we happen to see all these factors in the earlier class, and this class we will be looking into various reactions that carboxylic acids undertake. So, before we go further for that, let us see the answers to the assignment that we had in the earlier class, where the first question was explain Clemmensen reduction, a very well known named reduction where carbonyl group is getting converted into the alkyl group systems, which is CH2 system. The oxygen from the carbonyl group is removed and 2 hydrogen atoms are added, and this is what we call it as reduction, where removal of oxygen, addition of hydrogen. The catalysts that are being used are zinc amalgam. Amalgam indicates any metal compounds mixed with mercury, and concentrated hydrochloric acid is used as a solvent in this case. The second question was write the reaction for aldol condensation of ethanol. Ethanol is used here in dilute NaOH solutions. We will get the hydroxybutanol compounds. Yesterday in the earlier class, we happened to analyze the various mechanisms that these undertake. Mechanisms are not part of our syllabus, but if you have to come to this product, understanding the basic mechanism will be very important. And on further heating of this aldol which is generated, we can also get the corresponding compound which has a double bonded system alkenes and as well as aldehydes. So, this is about the aldol condensation of ethanol, which among ethanoic acid and propanoic acid is more acidic. Definitely ethanoic acid, because in propanoic acid the electron donating groups are more, where CH3, CH2 multiple electron donating groups are there. So, electron donating groups increase the presence of electrons, thereby making it difficult for hydrogen ion to move out, and therefore it will be less acidic, and in that regard ethanoic acid having a lesser electron donating group will be comparatively more acidic. What is the effect of the presence of electron withdrawing groups in the carboxylic acid molecule? Has already been discussed. If electron withdrawing groups are present, they will be able to stabilize the conjugate base, where they will withdraw the electrons, and with the delocalization that happens, the negative charge which is generated will be more stabilized, which indicates that going out of the H plus ion will be very easy, and the excessive presence of H plus ion will determine that the compounds are more acidic in nature. That is what is been represented, that electron withdrawing groups increase the acidity of carboxylic acids by stabilizing the conjugate base through delocalization, which means moving around of the negative charge by inductive and or resonance effects. Depends, if you use a benzene ring, probably you will have resonance effects also being present along with the inductive effects which are there. So, this was all about the assignment that was there in the earlier class, and hope you were able to understand all those parts. And now we will be looking into the reactions of carboxylic acids. The very first reaction of carboxylic acid is where you combine to react two carboxylic acids to give corresponding compounds which are called as anhydrides, and in this case the catalysts used are H2SO4 or P2O5, which is phosphorus oxide. So, in this parts now, the carboxylic acid general formula is RCOOH. This is carboxylic acid, and the anhydride general formula is RCOO. This is the part which is anhydride. Now, in this case I have used both as R. You can also use it as R and R dash, which indicates that they may be different. Now, here believing that they are same, I am using one general formulation where let me use another molecule of this carboxylic acid, the same RCOH. I have just flipped it around and written it as RCOH. Now, this is because I need you to understand that when a reaction between these two happens in the presence of acid or a phosphorus oxide molecule, water molecule is removed away from this. OH and H, any one molecule may give out OH, the other molecule may give out H. So, therefore, what happens here is the product, if already the product I have written it there, basically what I can show here is RCO is from this molecule and the other molecule can contribute the oxygen and these carbonyl groups which are present. And the byproduct here can be water because the water has been eliminated in this case. So, this is how corresponding anhydrides can be formed when you consider two molecules of carboxylic acid. In the example given here, they have taken the ethanoic acid, which indicates that there are two carbon atoms present, and since I have taken the same molecule on both the sides, with the elimination of water molecule in this cases, we get a compound ethanoic anhydride. Suppose if it is present with the different carbon atom systems, they generally give a mixed product which may not be very stable in nature. So, therefore, this is how these reactions can be undertaken for the formation of anhydride. Moving on, esterification reaction. This is something you have actually studied even in the 9th and 10th classes, where in the organic chemistry that you happen to come across ester. Ester is a very fruity smelling compound which is present, and esterification happens by the reaction of carboxylic acid and an alcohol. RCOH is the general formula of carboxylic acid. This is alcohol, where once again RCOOR and water is being eliminated. So, you can see that H2O will go from these two systems which are there. So, for example, if I have to take this, let me take ethanoic acid, and along with ethanoic acid, let me take ethanol which is present here. So, C2H5OH, CH3COH, ethanoic acid, ethanol, both are two carbon system. So, here we tend to form CH3CO, OC2H5 plus H2O. Now, how do we name esters? We are very clear with that. Here we do not count the largest chain and all. What is important here is anybody who is attached to oxygen will be considered as substituent. So, this can be named as ethyl ethanoate. Ethyl is the substituent because two carbon system in the main part will give it the name as ethyl ethanoate. So, these are some reactions where esterification takes place, and this is basically in the presence of acids. These also are reversible reactions, the reason being that there is a continuous conversion between the acid alcohol form and the corresponding ester form. So, suppose if you want to get a pure ester, we need to remove the ester from the reactive system as soon as it is being formed. If you leave it like that and if water is present, it will come back to form carboxylic acids and alcohols. Reaction with chloro compounds is the next set of reactions which are there, and these reactions, especially at the bottom end you are able to see, I am sure you will be able to remember a similar sort of reaction that you had studied in alcohols chapter. In fact, you had studied this in the preparation of haloalkanes chapter. The very first set of preparations were this, where PCl5, phosphorus pentachloride, phosphorus trichloride and thionyl chloride were utilized, where you could form different compounds. Now, in this case, instead of an alcohol, the alcohol had only as ROH, you are using here as RCOH, which is acid. The reactive mechanism remains exactly the same. So, if you are utilizing PCl5 or say PCl3 or say SOCl2, the products that you tend to get in all the cases are RCOCl, which is nothing but we call them as acyl chlorides. This is the alkyl system, and acyl chlorides, the CO group can be called as an acyl group. So, in all the three cases we tend to get acyl chlorides as the major product, and corresponding byproducts can be obtained in all these reactions. Now, the question is what type of byproducts can be obtained. So, like in the alcohols chapter, if we can remember those parts, I am just writing all the acid forms which are there. If you can remember the byproducts which were formed in those cases, here the byproduct will be PCl3 and HCl, whereas here it will be H3PO3, whereas here it will be SO2 gas and HCl. The good thing is that among all these three reactions, if you see here SO2 and then HCl, one of the chlorine is attached to RCO. So, one chlorine has come and attached to RCO, forming RCOCl. The other chlorine is going away with this hydrogen, and S and O is been combining to form sulfur dioxide. Among these three, the best reaction is going to be the last one. This is reaction with thionyl chloride, because the people who formed here, the byproducts, they were all inside the solution. So, again you have to employ separation methods, but the best thing about this is both of these formed are gaseous in nature. So, the moment they are gaseous in nature, they can go out by themselves. So, what remains in the mixture is only the acyl chloride which has been formed. So, this is an advantage of these systems where all the three set of reactions tend to give you the same major product. It is just that there are different byproducts, and in the second point you are able to see a highlighted aspect that thionyl chloride is preferred because the other two products are gaseous and they can very easily escape the reaction mixture, which makes it easy for us to have the final product in a very purified form. So, this is about the reaction with various chloro compounds that can be encountered with carboxylic acids. Similarly, moving around, reaction with ammonia. Now, ammonia is a base. This ammonia as a base factor we have seen in various concepts of first year, especially chemical bonding, where if I write the ammonia structure, this is NH3 and then lone pair of electrons, one pair, that is in total 2 electrons. This is because the nitrogen electronic configuration, we write it like this, 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. This is a well known fact. This is something which is present inside. So, if I use an atomic structure, a nucleus, in the first orbit you have 1s2, in the second orbit you have 2s2 and 2p3, which indicates that in total 5 electrons are outside for bonding. Of that 5, 3 electrons are bonded with 1 each electron from hydrogen. So, what about the other 2? They are present here at the top. So, this can act as a base, Lewis theory. Lewis theory says that if somebody can donate a pair of electrons, then it can act as a base. So, now here what happens is, suppose if I take an example of carboxylic acid, which I am taking it as ethanoic acid, 2 carbon system, ethanoic acid. This if I tend to react with ammonia, now this will become more like an acid base reaction. And we know very well that in the acid base reaction systems, whenever an acid reacts with a base, it tends to form a salt. This is something that we have studied, and also remember that it gives out water. A standard reaction studied where acid plus base gives salt and water. Now, since this is a very weak acid and this also its corresponding hydroxide which is there is a weak base, we actually have it in the reversible reaction where CH3, COO. Now, in this part what happens here is the balancing nature where the other hydrogen is combining with the NH3 because it is giving lone pair of electrons, CH3CO minus NH4 plus. How did this happen is NH3 is having a lone pair of electron, that lone pair of electron went and combined with hydrogen. Now, both the lone pairs were exclusively with nitrogen, now it is shared with hydrogen. Where did you get this hydrogen? You got it from here as H plus. So, therefore, it holds a positive charge, and when you heat this, you will be able to remove out water, and thereby you will be able to get corresponding amide. So, what are amides? The first thing, what are amides? Those which have the general formula RCONH2. These type of compounds are called as amides. Now, that type of amides are formed here where acid, the acid taken is ethanoic acid, amine which is ammonia base, reacts to form a salt which is an intermediate that on heating can give us corresponding amides and water. So, this is how the overall reaction with ammonia takes place. There is another example that is given to you where instead of ethanoic acid we have used benzoic acid. The principles of this reaction remain exactly the same, just the fact that an aromatic ring is now available. So, you are able to see that it is forming a corresponding salt which we call it as ammonium benzoate, because we know very well that NH4 is an ammonium salt, ammonium chloride, NH4Cl. So, like that we have a benzene ring, so we call it as ammonium benzoate where even COO group is present, and further with heating we can see the elimination of water molecule to give benzamide as well as a byproduct which is water. So, this is about the reaction with ammonia for the carboxylic acid systems, and now we study a specific type of reaction very important industrially, where same carboxylic acid system, it is just that we have taken a dicarboxylic acid. What do you mean by dicarboxylic acid? Two carboxylic acid systems, and the structure which is shown there, you can name it as benzene 1,2 dicarboxylic acid. The common name that is given is phthalic acid. So, this phthalic acid can react with ammonia to give corresponding salts and then further amide systems which are there, but this if you undertake a very strong heating, it is able to give type of compounds which we call it as phthalimide. So, how do these reactions undertake? So, I would just present it here so that you are able to follow each step of the reaction. I am first writing the phthalic acid structure, which is nothing but benzene 1,2 dicarboxylic acid, it is the IUPAC name. This if I am treating with ammonia, now because there are two COH group present here, it will react with two molecules of ammonia. So, this does not mean that we supply two molecules, ammonia will be present in large quantity. For this reaction, because two COH groups are there, it requires two molecules of ammonia. So, what happens here? Exactly the same intermediate that you had seen in the earlier reaction where COO, COO, till here I have written, both will have negative charges and the further part will be NH4 plus, NH4 plus. So, this is the intermediate which has been formed, ammonium phthalate salt. Okay. So, later on when you undertake heating, so now what happens is benzene ring where CONH2, which essentially means that one water molecule has gone from here, one oxygen and two hydrogens. Similarly, here another. So, I can write that the byproduct here was 2H2O, because from the upper part there was one H2O missing, from down part there is another H2O which is missing. So, this is the compound which has been formed, which we call it as phthalimide, and suppose we undertake much stronger heating, this is what we tend to get. So, in these cases which are there now, so this is how the hydrogen system can be removed out of the cases. So, in these aspects now what is important to understand is that a massive heating can lead to removal of ammonia gas also, and this phthalimide which is there, it is been used in many pharmaceutical reagents which are there, which you see as your tablets. This is one of the important component in the tablets which actually cure many of the common cold or fever diseases as such. So, this is a special reaction synthesis of phthalimide, where we study one of the important characteristic of carboxylic acid systems. Next one is the reduction of carboxylic acids, and the moment we hear this word reduction, it basically means either removal of oxygen or addition of hydrogen atoms. So, what we see here is that because carboxylic acid can be reduced to corresponding alcohols, which indicates that if you see the first starting reactant formula and the final formula, you realize that there is one oxygen atom which has gone away and two hydrogen atoms which have come in. So, when such multiple work has to be done, you need to use a very strong reducing agents. So, simple reducing agents like platinum, palladium and all will not help here. So, therefore, strong reducing agents like lithium aluminum hydride LiAlH4, or to say borane is been used, ether is used as a solvent here. So, this reaction on hydrolysis further can give us corresponding alcohols. In this case, sodium borohydride, though it is a good enough strong reagent, it does not work here because the strength of that particular reducing agent may not be good enough to convert it completely from carboxylic acid to alcohol. So, this is more of a simple reaction where many reactions we have now studied where it was oxidation from alcohol to carboxylic acid. This is a reverse one, it is a reduction from carboxylic acid to corresponding alcohols. A decarboxylation reaction which is possible with the carboxylic acid systems, this was actually studied by us when dealing with preparation of alkanes in the very first chapter of organic chemistry in first year, where soda lime NaOH and CaO was considered in the 3:1 ratio, where in this case now the reaction first up is that carboxylic acids which are there, if you treat it with the sodium metal, they may be converted into their corresponding sodium salts. So, we know that hydrogen gas will be eliminated. This reaction was seen while discussing the acidity of carboxylic acids. Now, this product which was obtained here, if this product RCOONA, this can be called as sodium salt of a corresponding acid. This, when it is treated with NaOH in the presence of CaO, so in this soda lime it has a variation where NaOH acts as a reagent, calcium oxide acts as a catalyst. It is part of the same reagent setup. So, here the formulations are where the R alkyl group which is there combines with hydrogen, and the byproduct here is sodium carbonate Na2CO3. So, the combinations here are the hydrogen H plus from this part can combine with the alkyl systems which are present here, and that is how corresponding alkanes can be formed from carboxylic acids. This method is important because generally we do get carboxylic acid compounds in large quantities, and if it can be utilized to convert it into alkanes, it may be an economically sound process. So, this is about the decarboxylation reaction, which essentially means that the carbon and oxygen from the compounds are removed. D indicates removal, carboxy, carbon, oxygen. So, moving further now, a named reaction, HVZ reaction. So, what is this HVZ? Is basically name of 3 different scientists who happen to work on this: Hell, Vollard, Zelinsky. These were the 3 scientists based in Germany, where they happen to study that the carboxylic acids, if they have an alpha hydrogen atom, once again just to see what is this alpha systems, this is the main functional group that we have, and when I want to consider alpha system, it must be beside that. So, this carbon is alpha carbon, the hydrogen attached to that is alpha hydrogen, and then let me have any chain. It can be methyl, ethyl, propyl, any length of chain possible. So, in these cases what is seen is, suppose red phosphorus is used as a catalyst, and along with this generally halides if they are attached. So, we tend to see that in the alpha system one of the hydrogen atom is being replaced by halides. So, what is the byproduct is, remember there is another halide atom here, out of X2 only X has come here. So, the another X will combine with the hydrogen that got left away from this, and therefore, it will form the byproduct HX. So, this is the main product where we can call it as alpha halogenated carboxylic acid, alpha because it is at the alpha position, halogenated carboxylic acid. So, this was worked up by these 3 scientists, and it has been formed to one of the very important reactions where if the halides are given in the presence of red phosphorus and on further hydrolysis in the presence of water, we can get corresponding alpha halo carboxylic acid. The halogen atom, they are preferred to use either Cl or Br. This is because fluorine is pretty reactive, iodine is very much less reactive. So, chlorine and bromine happen to be those compounds which are intermediate of high reactiveness as well as low reactiveness. Fluorine may probably lead to very volatile reaction. Iodine may not undergo a proper reaction. So, therefore, that X compound which is there should either be a chlorine gas or bromine gas. So, having seen all these reactions, now we come now to the one final reaction that is present in the carboxylic acid systems, where we will study about the ring substitution systems. I hope you remember that we had studied the ring substitution systems for the aldehydes also, where benzaldehyde was used as an example, and now here, since this ring substitution indicates the presence of benzene ring, the example that we are going to use is benzoic acid. So, the moment I take benzoic acid, the first thing I need to analyze is this an ortho-para directing or is it meta directing? So, that can be analyzed very easily depending on who is attached to the benzene ring. So, carbon is attached to benzene ring, and we know very well that the charge separation in this cases are delta minus, delta plus. This is also delta minus, fine. So, if this is delta minus, it can never be electron donating, it will rather be electron withdrawing in nature. So, the moment it is electron withdrawing, how does this happen? So, since it is electron withdrawing, we can write those resonance structures which are there. Let me just show those resonance structures for you, where the bonds which are shown here. So, this is the pi bond which will go up and this will go up. So, therefore, it will remain in this form where oxygen will be a negative charge species there, and because these two electrons are gone, this will be a positive charge. So, similarly, ortho, para and ortho will have positive charge, which indicates that if a new electrophile comes and attacks, this will be positive charge. So, electrophilic attack here will be difficult, because electrophile itself means lesser electrons. It will not attack a positive system, because positive system also means less. So, comparatively, positive charge probably you may have it at ortho, para and ortho, meta positions which are there will be free enough, and therefore, in the case of benzoic acid like benzaldehyde, it is a meta directing group. So, in the case of meta directing group, the two reactions that we have here were nitration reaction, the electrophile generated is NO2 plus, we know this very well, and that NO2 plus, if you see, has gone and attacked to the meta position. Similarly, if bromination is done where Br2 is added with the catalyst FeBr3, it directly goes and attacks a meta bromo compound in this case. Similar to these reactions, we actually have Friedel-Crafts reaction generally, which we study for these type of compounds. But the problem here is going to be that Friedel-Crafts reactions cannot undergo these type of reaction. The reason being, in this cases, the moment since we consider this to be acid in nature, we know very well that in the case of Friedel-Crafts, it is going to be something like CH3Cl or so, where we use anhydrous AlCl3 as the reducing agent. This anhydrous AlCl3 as a reducing agent, the major problem here is, since this is a Lewis systems which is considered as a Lewis acid, it tends to form a salt in these cases. So, as you see in the second point which is there, that whenever we consider the Friedel-Crafts reaction, it does not undergo Friedel-Crafts reaction, because the carboxylic acid system which is there is deactivating. What do we mean by deactivating system? It indicates that the electrons are withdrawn from the benzene ring, and therefore, the Lewis acid nature of the aluminum chloride will not work out, and it will rather react with the carboxylic acid systems. So, these are all the various reactions that we tend to study in the cases of carboxylic acids. Many more reactions are possible, but at this level, we more or less got to understand how the hydrogen ion of the carboxylic acid will react with ammonia and other various aspects in these cases. See you again. Thank you. Sai Ram.